Here is a long, smooth-paced emotional story perfect for a 40-minute YouTube video, written in plain paragraphs, no headings, with a strong hook, emotional depth, and a powerful ending. People rarely notice what happens at bus stops. They come and go, rushing through life, never realizing that sometimes an entire story, an entire heartbreak, can unfold in just a few minutes. So if you're watching this, stay with me till the end, because what happened on this quiet winter morning will shock you, break your heart, and then rebuild it in the most inspiring way. And if you feel something while listening, don't forget to like this video and subscribe, because stories like these deserve to be heard. It began on a cold Tuesday when the city's morning bustle had barely started. A young boy sat alone on a bench, his legs dangling motionlessly. His small hands clutched a faded backpack, and every few seconds he looked around, as if searching for a familiar face. His clothes were clean but old, and his eyes, deep brown and too quiet for a child his age, held something between confusion and fear. His name was Ian, and he had trouble walking due to a neurological condition that slowed his movements and speech. Strangers passed him, some glancing, some avoiding eye contact, but no one stopping. Until a single dad named Harris walked by with his 5-year-old daughter, Noor, holding his hand. Harris had taken an early bus with Noor because he worked a double shift at a repair workshop. Being a single father wasn't easy, but he did everything with love and patience. As they approached the bench, Noor tugged her father's sleeve gently and whispered, "Papa, why is that boy alone?" Harris looked at the child on the bench, and something inside him tightened. Children weren't meant to look that lost. He approached slowly. "Hey buddy, are you waiting for someone?" he asked softly. Ian blinked, attempted to speak, but his voice trembled and words came out slow, broken. My mom, she said, she'll come back." Harris glanced around. There was no one. The winter wind pressed in, sharp and cold. Noor sat down beside Ian and offered him her small mittens. "Your hands look cold," she said with genuine warmth. Ian gave her a shy smile. Harris knew something was wrong. A parent wouldn't leave a child like this. Minutes passed. Then 20. Then 30. No one came. No phone calls. No searching footsteps. No frantic parent. Just silence. Harris asked gently, "Do you remember her phone number?" Ian shook his head. Instead, he slowly took out a folded paper from his backpack. Harris unfolded it, and his heart dropped. It wasn't a note, it was a medical report. And at the bottom, in rushed handwriting, were the words, "I can't take care of him anymore." Harris felt his chest tighten with anger and sadness he struggled to hide. Noor looked at him with wide, innocent eyes. "Papa, is he okay?" He swallowed the lump in his throat. "He will be," he said, though he had no idea how. Most people would have called the authorities and left. Most people would have walked away from the responsibility of a child they didn't know. But Harris wasn't most people. He had once been abandoned too, by his wife, who walked out when Noor was still a baby, leaving him to raise her alone. He knew the look in Ian's eyes. He had lived it. So instead of calling the police immediately, he called his boss, asked for an emergency day off, and took both kids home. Ian's limbs were stiff, and he moved slowly, but he tried so hard not to inconvenience anyone. That was what broke Harris' heart the most. A child shouldn't have to apologize for existing. The next weeks were a whirlwind of challenges. Harris filed a report, but social services were overwhelmed, and because he had volunteered to keep Ian temporarily, they let the boy stay with him while they investigated. At home, Noor quickly bonded with Ian. She showed him her toys, sat beside him during meals, and even helped him learn simple games that didn't require too much physical movement. Every time Ian struggled to speak or walk, Noor encouraged him with a bright smile. "You can do it," she'd say, giving him high fives. Harris, on the other hand, faced new difficulties. His apartment was small, money was tight, and he had no idea how to care for a child with special needs. But every night, when he tucked both kids into bed and saw the peace on Ian's face, he felt something he hadn't felt in years: purpose. There were moments when the challenges felt overwhelming. Ian's therapy sessions were expensive, and sometimes Harris struggled to pay rent. He worked late nights, slept little, and often skipped meals so the kids could eat better. But he never complained. Because for the first time, Ian wasn't a burden, he was family. One evening, a school event changed everything. Noor had a small performance, and Ayan insisted on walking onto the stage to support her, even though the steps were hard for him. The other parents stared, some with pity, some with judgment. But Noor held his hand proudly. "He's my brother," she declared loudly when a kid asked why he walked differently. Harris nearly cried. But not everyone was kind. A week later, Ayan's biological mother suddenly reappeared. She claimed she wanted him back, but her eyes were cold, her words rehearsed, and her reasons unclear. Maybe guilt. Maybe pressure. Maybe something else. Ayan saw her and froze. His hands shook. He remembered too well. He hid behind Harris, clinging to his shirt. A court hearing followed. Emotional, intense, heartbreaking. The mother argued she deserved another chance. Harris argued that Ayan deserved love, stability, and someone who wouldn't abandon him at a bus stop. Ayan was given a moment to speak. Stuttering but brave, he whispered, I want to stay with him." It was the longest sentence he had ever managed. The courtroom fell silent. The judge looked at Harris, this single father who had no blood relation to the child, no wealth, no influence, just love. And sometimes love is the strongest argument. The judgment was made. Custody was granted to Harris. The moment they walked out of the courtroom, Ayan hugged him tightly, his whole small body trembling. Harris lifted him gently, whispering, "You're safe now. I'm not going anywhere." Noor jumped around them, chanting, "We're a family now." Months passed. Ayan began improving, slowly but surely. Therapy helped, love helped more. He learned to walk longer distances without support. His speech grew clearer. His confidence blossomed. And every time he made progress, Harris celebrated him like he had won a gold medal. The three of them built a life together, full of laughter, imperfections, chaos, and love. People often asked Harris why he took in a child who wasn't his. His answer was simple: some children come from our blood. Others come from our hearts. Both deserve the same love. So if you're still watching this, let this story remind you that real family isn't always the one you were born into, it's the one that never leaves you. It's the people who choose you, stay with you, fight for you. And sometimes, the biggest heroes are ordinary single parents who decide to love a child the world has given up on.